What's going on, crypto degens? We have another guest with us today. He is the lead dev for GOAT, the GOAT project on the XRPL, Douglas Cox. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, bro. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. I was just talking to you about Bitcoin. Looks like we're breaking 70K, so some exciting stuff coming to the space.
Super exciting. I mean, it's perfect timing. First ledger comes out, Bitcoin's ripping.
Yep,
I mean, all we need is XRP to get its act in order, right?
it's coming. It's coming. Easily, it's coming. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into it. Before we get into the actual project of Go, I'd love to get a little bit more info on you. I mean, tell me a little bit about your background in crypto. How'd you start in crypto, and what's got you in the XRP ledger right now?
So I started trading part-time. I started trading stocks and securities. This was like
Okay.
about late 2018, early 2019. I just kind of just started getting into it because I eventually wanted to learn to, invest, to do some long hold because, money sitting in the bank account, doesn't work for you. So I started getting into that. I got really good at trading in the SPAC hype. Um, that was kind of like a meta that, anybody who traded that loved it. It was great. It was great research. I love doing research, diving into things, placing my bet, and then when the catalyst or the play comes along, getting rewarded for that work. Like that's some of the
Yeah.
best. That's like the best feeling ever. And then when COVID hit, I just went into it, just dumped everything into stocks. I got a little bit of crypto. I was still on the fence at the time with crypto. I was like, I get it, it's cool, but like, yeah, sure, whatever. You guys aren't going to take down the fiat, right? Like just the same as everybody else. Um, COVID corrected, everything was doing great. The bet paid off, and then some of my friends and family were just like showing me some P&Ls and some gains, and I'm like that can't be real. Like your guys' stuff shoots up hundreds of percent in a day. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm happy securing a 30-40% win, right? Like it's like there's no way. So I was like, you know what? Okay, I'll take a look at it. So I actually took a look at it and I was like, all right, this is actually something. Like it's not just this propaganda of the Bitcoin's going to take down, everybody. It's actually, there was technology to it, right? Like there was actually coins that could solve problems that we have, like the
Yeah.
financial problems with moving money. So, obviously that all made sense. Grab me some XRP, XLM, the banking coins. Um, and I still did stocks at the time, mainly, but once once the SPAC hype ended, then I just dove more into crypto. Next thing you know, I'm trading NFTs. I did the trust line farming on XRP, right? Did a
Okay.
lot of
Cool.
DeFi on Binance, on BNB chain. And during the trust line farming, everybody's doing NFTs, the IOUs, and we were all looking forward to that. So I started moving into Solana, trading NFTs over there. Um, and that was pretty much the start of my whole Web3 ecosystem. After that, moved into DeFi, moved into, the meme coins, the shit coins, the utility, and pretty much made Solana my playground.
Nice. How'd you like exploring in Solana and kind of building on Solana?
So what actually made me well, like during the time of me getting into NFTs and Solana, like obviously the unreal gains was like you mint an NFT for a Solana or zero point 0.5, and then within minutes you just 10x, you 20x, and you're just like, what is
Yeah.
this? Like, what is going on here? Right? I mean, these are just JPEGs, with a promise behind it. But I also try to get some of the XRP communities behind it, right? Like I was like,
Yeah.
guys, look at this. Like this is huge. Like, you can do it all, right? And it was really shocking to me to find how much more open the Solana community was at the time to like welcoming new people, right? They wanted Ethereum money, they wanted it
Yeah.
all. There wasn't like a lot of maximalism over there. So I found that because I wanted to do it all. I want to trade it all. I didn't want to be a maxi or limited to a
Exactly. Yeah.
particular
Yeah.
thing, right? And I found that the XRP community at the time was very shunning. I actually got in like some Twitter battles over with some of the founders, um, and one of them might have migrated over to Solana.
Wow.
But well, yeah, he was shitting on Solana at the time, and he eventually moved his project to Solana, right? Um,
Yeah, I feel like the XRP community has opened up a little bit, but 3 or 4 years ago, it was maximism to the max. Like it was really bad. You would say anything about any other project, and they would attack you. And I felt like a lot of different projects were like that. We were kind of isolated to ourselves. At the time, funny that you mentioned that because I was also playing around with some Solana projects. I was playing with I'm not sure if you've ever heard of Atlas. They made or they're still building. It's like a AAA video game on Solana. It's kind of this whole outer space exploration game, and you could mint these utility NFTs. And I did them on Solana, and just like you said, as soon as you minted them, they did like 10,000%. So it was really cool. I had that really cool experience on Solana, and it was way faster than anything on ETH or on Matic. So Solana was a really cool project. I held some Solana for a long time and some NFTs on Solana.
yeah, that's one of the best things. Like, it seems like Solana's changed a lot the past year, ever since Pump Fund was created, the meme coin. Like, it
Yep.
doesn't, like, everybody thinks it's so exciting over here and it's great. And like, I would honestly tell you, like the excitement and like the community itself is almost at an all-time low. Like, even though like outside looking in, it's like meme coins and this and that, it's like the best time Solana ever had was during the NFT community building. Like, that was peak euphoria at the time.
Yeah. And I kind of fear that might happen with us because everything feels very pure right now. If it's very pure in the sense that the community is really working together. There's always going to be people who are sniping trading, but right now it seems like everybody's kind of just helping each other out. But whenever I get into those ETH and Solana spaces, I do get that worry about, is that what we're going to look like in 2 or 3 years?
It's super hard to say that too, because it's
Yeah,
also like, what's everybody talking about right now on XRP? Everybody's like, we got to get more Solana and Ethereum people over here, and it's like, okay, but you get, like, do you know
yeah,
what you're wanting, right? Like, you
exactly.
don't get
Careful what
just
you
some
wish
of the
for.
package, right? You get all the package. If when volume increases over here, like, everybody's talking about scams now, like, and this and that, and it's like, you guys have no idea what's coming as far as like scams go, and falling for the trap. And to me, I look at how much just untapped liquidity the XRPL has. Like, there's some big bags. There's people with money. So it's like, sure, we want to onboard. Like, First Ledger, one of the best things that they have is how new members don't have to mess with trust lines. Because that is one of the most annoying things to teach people is, hey, you need to go to the XRPL service place. You need to create a trust line. Once you create a trust line, then you can come over to here and then you can buy the coin. Right? For them to do that all within the push of a button is really making something third grade friendly.
Yeah, I mean, what do you guys? I onboarded two friends from work today, and they don't have any experience with anything like this, with trust lines. They don't have any experience with opening wallets, and they were up and running in 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. So that's huge because you're removing so much friction that now the average person that's not involved in intricate crypto um, verbiage and intricate crypto things that we do on our day to day, that, for us, we're degens and it's normal, but for the average person, it's complicated. They're able to do
Yep.
that, and it's a lot simpler now.
Yeah, the projects that, like, everybody talks about onboarding the masses and it's going to come, and it's just like, just wait, just you wait. And it's the projects that are going to focus on making their use case super easy and just no
Yeah.
brainer. They're the ones that are going to survive, and they're going to win the game. That's for sure.
Yeah. All right, so let's dive into goat. Obviously, especially in the beginning, you guys were a little controversial with your
Little,
dev
I'd
allocation.
say we're still controversial. I'd say we're still super controversial on it.
Yeah, you've jumped into the spaces and you've kind of cleared your name a little bit, and you've got a little bit more respect from the community. But um, kind of tell us a little bit more about the Go token, and tell us a little bit more about what you're building in general.
Yeah, so the goat, I mean, I shared a screenshot, when Sloppy talked to me about First Ledger earlier this year. I don't know if it was January or February, when he first approached me about it. Um, and obviously just going back and forth between, how it should be and all of that. I eventually found that goat picture with Brad Garlinghouse. And that took a minute to find, right? And then obviously we had this euphoric like, dude, goat, like that's perfect, right?
I saw that
Because
screenshot. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, like that was just so funny. It was just such a good moment. We're like, sweet, because we're like, because he was in the Solana trenches, right? So he, I'd say he's got more cross chain experience than 99% of people on the XRP, right? So he really understands both sides of the world. So hit him, it was just like, dude, we got to find a cat, we got to find a dog, but finding the goat was even better because cats and dogs happen all the time, right?
Exactly.
Um, and it's pretty much when I found that, that's when I was like, really like, I actually want to launch a coin because when I think about the XRPL, and I've been an NFT bag holder in pretty much every project since the IOU, since minting. Like I've never really contributed myself to being a part of the community because the Solana kept me so busy, and also I eventually got into Ethereum, so it was more like I want to explore other chains besides the XRP. But I've always held all of my NFTs and try to stay up to date, stay in the Discord, read some announcements like, what's going on? Is there something going to be built, something exciting? And I never found that. Like, I think the biggest buzzword over there is metaverse, right? And,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to, down any project, but to me, the metaverse is just a very big buzzword, right? It's hard to give that an intrinsic value of how that's just so great for a community. Um, and so when I saw the goat, I was like, I would love to launch a coin over there. Like doing it on Solana, it's right now or this year, the past maybe year and a half, 2 years, launching a coin is probably the most nightmaric thing you can ever do on Solana because
Really.
especially if you have a long-term plan. Like if you want to have a long-term, you actually really want to do something, it's so hard to maintain a community because you're just taken for granted, right? Like everybody is just used to moving on, next thing, moving on, next thing, moving on, next thing. I mean, we've got 10,000 coins 10,000 plus coins are getting created a day on Solana, right? So people just want to
Yeah,
flip, just move on.
yeah. I've noticed that. Like the last couple of days, I've been just peeking over at Solana coins, and there seems to be this huge rotation culture. Like you get into a coin, make profit, rotate. Get into another coin, make profits, rotate. There's this huge rotation culture that I see in Solana right now.
Yeah, and that's exactly how it is. So it is PvP at its purest, and you're also trying to play against the devs as well, and that's even in the cabals. Like that's even a harder game. So not only is it PvP, but you're playing against the botters and you're playing against the cabal. So it's like, how do you win? So when it
Yeah,
came to like me launching a coin over there, it was like not a chance. Like all the work, all the art, all the money I spend will be taken for granted, and everybody's just going to want to dump it, right? And it's like, well, they wouldn't if you give them a reason. It's like there's some utility coins that I hold that I could never dream of, like giving that kind of utility to it, and they can't maintain a floor price. They can't maintain an uptrend, and they are substantially amazing utility coins on and their SPLs. So I mean, that's just proof in case. And you're talking about utility coins that have an 8 team devs, a huge dev team.
yeah,
So that's when I was like, why not go over to XRP and do a meme coin? They don't have any great ones, and at the time, I don't even think Bear launched. If it did, it was barely, because I've always kept my eye on the XRPL. Like I bought X meme when it came out, I bought Bear when it came out. I've wanted to keep holding X Doge, like trade it, but it was just always. I'm not a huge derivative fan, right?
yeah,
Um, so I supported Bear and X meme from the start, but I never saw them do anything like a coin called Bonk, which everybody knows about Bonk from the outside, but not a lot of people, unless you're a Solana person, know how Bonk started or what that was like. There's a reason, like when you think Solana, you think Bonk, and it's because of how much they gave out to the community. Like one day, everybody just woke up and it's like a massive airdrop in their wallet. It was 1 Solana, and then
So
5, and then 10.
was it an airdrop to Solana holders? Because I'm not too familiar with how Bonk was started.
So it was an airdrop to people who interacted with certain protocols or websites, right? So
Gotcha.
it
Okay.
wasn't just for anybody who held Solana. You had to be an active Web3 trader, essentially. So if you interacted with numerous protocols, then it whitelisted your wallet for the airdrop. Like,
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think 4 of my wallets, because on Solana you have 20 wallets. Like, you just have a lot of wallets. That's what you do. It's one of the best things to do when farming protocols because we're used to such airdrops. So Bonk all of a sudden airdropped, and we were just like, what is this? Like, what is going on here, right? Obviously, everybody papered it. I think if anyone held it, like, they would be substantial 5 figures right now, if not close to 6. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, like everybody papered
That's
that bag.
nuts.
So, I was just like, why not do something like that versus all meme coins have this, hey, we want to burn it, we want to buy back, we want to create deflationary. What Bonk chose to do is slowly release their coins into circulation as the community grew. So it's almost like the exact
Gotcha.
opposite, right? They took the opposite approach. And not one time were they like, hey, we want to do a raise or we want to do this. It was just all of a sudden like, hey, we're giving whatever users use this protocol, we're giving you an airdrop. And it was just random. You wouldn't have time to farm it. You wouldn't have time for anything. To this day, people are still getting airdrops. Like that's how
Wow.
giving the
That's
coin's
nuts.
been. Yeah. So that's pretty
Jeez.
much where I was like, that's the route I want to take with Go. I want to do that. I want to see if this community would like something like that approach.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I was looking. I mean, first off, one of the first things that I noticed that kind of separated Goat from all the other coins early on was you guys had a legit website. Everything looked clean. You had a roadmap. A lot of us that were starting out coins didn't have any of that. I mean, a lot of us are new to the meme coin game, so it was really impressive to see all of that already developed. Um, Now, in terms of the dev allocation, I know on the website it has everything kind of broken down. So you have 21% community events, 20% community grants, 15 XRP airdrops, 12% marketing, 12 to the team, 10 LP support, and 10% for initial LP. Can you break that down a little bit further? I mean, tell me community events. I mean, what's kind of that going to look like?
Right. So community events can just be participants in protocols, right? So um that's not defined as in like I have a plan for it right now. Like there is
Okay,
a protocol that people are using that I want those users to get an airdrop. But it's not going to be the full 21% supply. Like the goal isn't to just get all of these coins out of circulation or into circulation all of a sudden. I want to leave room for growth for devs to build something. And when they do, and it's, helping the ecosystem so much, I want to reward those users with an airdrop of Go.
gotcha. So when you say the devs to build something, like what do you mean by that? Like, what give? Can you give me an example of what that would look like?
Yeah. So for example, First Ledger, right? So
Okay.
Sloppy and Adam and their team built First Ledger. So users who use First Ledger, their wallet is whitelisted to get an airdrop. That's an example. Do you see what I'm saying?
Gotcha. Okay. And that's going to be between the grants and the XRP airdrops.
Yeah. So the XRP airdrop in itself is purely going to be NFT communities. So the community
Okay, cool.
events, the grants is more of like a funding, right? So certain projects need funding, projects need capital. So that way, Goat is also helping invest into the chain further as well,
Gotcha. Okay. So
right?
do
So
you
if
have like
if
our like? Okay, go ahead.
So for example, if you're like, hey, and obviously the grants thing, that's something that's later on the road when the
Okay.
community wants it, the LP's thicker, or even like you can even offer a private sale to someone or a community to buy a percentage of that to, let's say, fund your coin. You're like, hey, Doug, I've got a proposal. I need help building this LP. can the GOAT sponsor it? Can the GOAT community sponsor my LP? Right? So then we take a
Got it.
percent of those of the tokens, either private sell them or sell them in the market as a limit order, and then we fund your project or your LP.
Wow. Okay. That's pretty interesting. That's pretty cool. So okay, so that kind of connects to my next question with LPs. Um, it seems like the automated market makers feature on the XRPL is pretty unique. How have you found that? I mean, what are you doing with it? I mean, how have you understood using it?
So yeah, I've actually got a really good understanding of DeFi and how
Okay.
liquidity pools work, and I love it because like, right now everybody's like, oh, you want a big old thick liquidity pool, and a lot of people are used to the pump fund coins coming out of Solana. No one
Yeah.
really remembers the coins before Solana. They were just the same as this. Like, if you had an LP that was 5% the size of the market cap, that was pretty normal. It wasn't even weird to see a 2% size. If you saw something that was 10% the size, so what I mean by that is if the coin's market cap was 1 million and there was 100 grand in the liquidity pool, that was a fat LP. That was
Yeah.
huge, especially if it was a meme coin and, not like a big protocol dropping a coin because they've had forever to accumulate fees and they did a big airdrop. Um, so like when it comes to the goats LP, most people don't think about how many coins are in circulation, right? Only 10% of goats coins are in circulation. So
Correct.
if my market cap's at 1.3 right now, 10% of that is 130,000, right? So if I was to buy up all the coins in circulation at current market cap, it would cost me 130,000 to do so, right? And
Got it.
my
Yeah.
LP
Correct.
is 47,000.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So like if you look at it in that perspective, it's actually pretty good, right? In the
Gotcha.
aspect of I would just need 3 times my LP and I could buy up all of my circulating supply. So there's certain things that you want to do. The most important thing when it comes in LP is your slippage, right? You want a big LP so that way you can have big buys and big sells without paying massive slippage. Because that's the important part. When you're if you want to purchase 1,000 XRP of a coin and your slippage is 30%, then your LP is not big enough yet.
Correct. There's not a lot of space in the LP for anybody to really trade comfortably.
Comfortably, correct. Like right now, everybody, it's like, oh, drop's worth, 3.7 million right now, and it's only got 147. That means like nobody
Correct.
can really sell their coin, because they have 100% of their coins in circulation. So their ratio is if I wanted to buy them all at current price, it cost me 3.7, but there's only 150
Correct.
in the LP. So GOAT's ratio for circulating supply to LP is actually the best coin on First Ledger right now
Gotcha.
for
Yeah.
circulating supply compared to LP. We got to
Correct.
remember
So
circulating supply.
we're just talking about circulating supply here. Yeah, because the
Correct.
rest is being held, right? That's not being accounted for.
That's correct. 90% is sitting in wallets. 10% is being actively traded.
Gotcha. Okay. So in terms of to the wallet, that seems to be the biggest issue that people have with it, and it's mostly just a trust thing. And I don't know if there's any way you can provide an escrow for the wallet to kind of gain people's trust. I mean, what would you say to someone in the community that's like, you guys got a cool concept, I would love to invest, but I just can't get over just trusting you guys with the total supply, or not total, but with such a big supply.
Right. So the easiest thing I can say is all the liquidity in the liquidity pool is mine. So I funded the liquidity pool with I think it was between 30 and 40,000 of my own money. So for me to dump my own coin in my own liquidity kind of seems redundant, right? Like that makes no
Yeah.
sense. And then also another thing to consider. So everybody's concerned about me, one person. But if you look at some of these other top coins, there's holders in there. There's 20 to 30 holders in drop that could send it to zero right now. Like if you do the
Correct.
math on some of these holders, I mean, I'm just going to look at drop, and I'm not trying to plant fear. I'm not any of that kind of stuff. It's just about risk to reward, right? So there's one guy
Exactly.
who
Yeah. Yeah.
he's got 5%, 4%, 3%. Every single one of those guys can easily drain the entire liquidity pool of drop. So with GOAT, you have to worry about me, a single person in which, like, you said earlier, I'm on spaces, I'm educating, I'm wanting to, you know, grow something here and be a part of something great. And the only person who's going to lose money is me right now. Like, I'm the one who's risking all the capital. So versus worrying about 30 people in your funds, I mean, the other night we saw it. One individual who got in super early in all these coins, he crashed them all, right?
Yeah. That was pretty interesting. I'm imagining that was happening is after that big pump that the entire, pretty much the entire space of all these coins experience all this increase in XRP on their coins. A lot of them sold out, and we got a lot of the people who weren't real believers for the long term projects out of the market. I'm hoping that a lot of them are out of the market already, and now we can start slowly building up. Because a lot of people who got early and aren't invested in these coins are going to sell, right? As soon as they have 10,000, 20,000%, they're going to sell and then keep on going to the next coin. But that's my hope. My hope is that a lot of those guys are completely out or mostly out. And from now on, a lot of these people who are staying in these coins are staying in for the long run.
Yeah, I agree. And that's, well, one cool thing about, so the built-in AMM and the built-in DEX is pros and cons, right? On XRP. But one cool thing is, like, these coins get a DEX. I mean, I think it takes about an hour to like see all the information and have it come up. Because there was a new launch coin, and I was actually trying to see, when I could um, create a trust line on another wallet and see when you could even put up limit orders and sell orders. And I think it took about an hour. But like, that's what the whales need to do. I mean, and that's what a lot of people should do, is if you're putting in buy orders and sell orders, those transactions never show up on First Ledger's activity. So you can essentially smooth sell without dramatically, and buy. So the purchase orders would help support the LP in an extent without you putting coins in the LP. And then your sell orders help it to where nobody sees a dramatic drop in the price. It doesn't put any selling pressure. If anything, the chart will just stay at a standstill and go sideways for a little bit. But that's even way better than somebody dropping a coin, because even like me, I'm one of the people who got in these coins when they were sub 1,000, right? So drop, for an example, I I put fair to nothing in drop, and my bag, I was just like, how am I up 1,000x? Like, what is this, right? Like, you get
Yeah.
that kind of stuff, but not on a coin that just hit 10 million, right? Like, you can get 1,000x once you see 1 billion or 100 million. So that is one issue with the LP and launching coins, is if you're launching a coin under 10,000 or 5,000, you're giving people a bigger multiplier, therefore a bigger
Correct. Yeah.
multiplier selling pressure on your coin. Because GOAT launched at 10,000. So GOAT launched at a 10K market cap. So the biggest multiplier, I think our all-time high was 4 million, was a 40x, right? So that was the biggest multiplier for somebody to get 100x. I mean, we've really got to get up there. What is that? 100 million? 10 million? 10 million
Yeah.
for
10 million.
100x, and for 1,000x, above and beyond.
Gotcha. Wow, that's interesting. That's pretty interesting. So I have a couple questions for you in terms of just the space, and we've already talked about it a little bit. But what are you mostly excited about for the XRPL, and what are you worried about?
What I'm excited about for the XRPL is its potential, right? So I'm used to Solana. I'm used to super fast. I'm used to bundles. I'm used to cheap gas, right? So in that comparison, XRP is very similar to that. I will say that XRP is probably built to be a safer chain than Solana, right? It's harder to get drained. It's harder to, have malicious attacks upon you. So I'm super excited about its potential. for its growth and how early we are in it. And on the downside, my same fear is that these meme coins don't spark it, right? Like it doesn't spark like obviously we've got a massive on-chain spark that
Correct. Yeah.
is so small to other chains, but huge for the XRPL. So my fear is that these meme coins, it doesn't lead to something greater, right? What greater is more devs, more people coming over to want to contribute, more volume in general. Like I would love a
Yeah.
DeFi season over here, but I'm not sure if that's even possible to get a huge DeFi system with the AMM built in, because if meme coins don't work out and cause the huge spark we all want, what will? NFTs failed. NFTs, it didn't work out like we wanted it to, but that definitely didn't do it. So we've got meme coins. If meme coins don't do it, I couldn't even tell you what could do it if
Yeah.
this died down, right?
Yeah.
So
That's
it's
also a
almost
fear
like
that I
it's
have.
last hope.
It's also a fear that I have that this is just a phase. My train of thought is it's working for Solana. It's worked for ETH. It seems like the XRP community is being pretty accepting of it because usually we don't like these things. You know, honestly, if you would have asked me 10 days ago about meme coins, I would have said I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. Um, but I found an opportunity and I said, what the heck? And it ended up working in my favor. So now I'm super excited about, and I'm excited to see the whole community be excited about it. So we'll see. I mean, I really hope that it sparks more devs and more activity. I mean, we definitely have a lot more users. I think BC Backer was talking about it today. We have a spike in users. Now we just need the devs to follow.
Yep, and I see all that info. I watch it all, and I think one thing I think what we really lack is that there's a lot of people, for lack of better words, pussyfooting, right? Like they're sitting in the kiddie pool, getting their feet a little wet, and they're too scared to jump in because they don't want to be wrong, right?
Yeah,
Like people are so scared to be wrong, and I'm not saying like somebody came into the Goat Telegram and was like, "Is 1,000 XRP enough to invest in Goat?" And my first response was, the right amount is the amount you can put in and forget about, like you can go to sleep on, right? Because
exactly, exactly.
meme coins are volatile. You will see 80%, 90% downtrends, uptrends, and overnight you can see a coin that was on the bottom just be the reigning star, right? So it's anybody's game. Any coin can all of a sudden do something. So you should never put life changing or your bill money into it. But I do think everybody needs to unite and take a stand and say we want this to work. Like BC Backer himself, like it's not like I'm like, hey dude, let me see what coins you hold, but it's like, are you participating in the market or are you just
Correct. Yeah.
farming engagement, right? Like because I don't want to say like I'm an anti-influencer. I know I'm not a great influencer. Like it's hard for me to sell that dream and all that. I love education. I love, helping people and teaching people. But what I don't like to see is people farming information and they're sitting on the sideline not participating while the rest of us are just, figuring it out for them to judge how we do, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I
Because
agree. I agree.
yeah, I think that's what we really need is BC Backer, a bunch of those influencers to just say, I am participating, I like this, let's make it work.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean that the thing is that so many people have gotten burnt from paid influencers, and so now the few influencers that have been paid or so 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 far they say haven't been paid, don't want to attach their name to any project from fear that that project ends up being a dud. So it's kind of a balancing act, I guess. But we need to push engagement, man. We need to push dev. We need to push just being involved in the XRPL in general because we have excitement. We have tons of excitement in the market right now, and if we can turn that excitement into real projects, into real communities that are building things, then we have a shot. We have a shot at achieving those huge market caps that Solana seems to be showering in, that everybody seems to be dreaming about.
Yeah, Solana, it was a Saturday. I forget the coin. Just, I mean, there's thousands of coins, but that coin was sent to 1 billion in a day. 1
Jesus
billion.
Christ.
Yeah, it was, and it was a day I was touching grass. I was up camping. I like to, get out, go up the mountains, disconnect quite a bit. Um, Out camping and hunting, and I got back, and I'm like, what? Was it Slurf or Slot? It was something like that. And the dev messed up because he did a pre-sale, and he burnt all the pre-sale guys' tokens. Like it was a
Oh
meme
snap.
itself. Yeah, he tweeted oops. But yeah,
Jeez.
no, like, and that's the thing too. Like I think we're trying too hard to compare. Like we should always use Solana and Ethereum as like a guideline. Like we should compare, right? But never should we think that we can do what Solana does. Like I don't think that
Correct.
there's like there's Solana is the chain of the masses for easy onboarding, in my opinion, right? Like that's what the founders wanted. That's what people have built. That's just its claim to fame. That's why it got where it's at. So I don't think we need to say we want that exact same thing, but we definitely need to strive to be able to get a coin to, 100 million, 500 million. And if we hit the billion one day, absolutely insane, right?
That'd be
Like we're
awesome.
all going to be just ecstatic, whether that's my coin or drop or like scrappy. Like I, it wouldn't matter to me because it's setting the standard. You're raising the bar, right? So if one coin can do it, we can all do it.
I mean, we would be showing a bunch of people like myself before this that were sitting on XRP for years and would scoff at memes. We're showing what they could do, right? And before this, I didn't even know there were multiple memes at $1 billion market cap. So now my thought process is, okay, well, if we can just get a fraction of that volume, that'd be a huge W for the whole ecosystem.
Literally, like 5% would be massive.
That'd be awesome.
Like if we hit 5% of Solana's volume, that would be huge. And that's so weird to think about because we're even struggling um right now, but that's one thing. I know, like I've had a lot of people blow up my DMs these past few days. They're
Mhm.
scared, they're concerned, it's over. Like this was just another, because I onboarded quite a bit of people. I actually got a massive airdrop from First Ledger. And a lot of them were Solana and Ethereum people. So I crossed a lot of people over to get them over here. And I, even to this day, earlier today I was on a call um, with a pretty big guy that I know, influencer, and he was questioning me about XRP. Like, how does the chain work? Is it worth it? Should we get some funds over there? And that's why I keep, telling the XRP community, just make sure you maintain that welcoming, inviting
Yeah.
atmosphere. Like, leave the maximalism home. Like we can't have that. XRP is not the best chain. Solana is not the best chain. Bitcoin, if they're none of them are the best chain. They all got their
Yeah.
pros and cons, right? And it's not about being right. It's just about everybody pushing to win together. And in this meta, in the meme coin game, that is almost next to impossible, but at least we can aim for that the best we can.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. Awesome, man. So I'll end it with one last question that I ask everybody. What are you holding? What are your bags that you're carrying forever? What are your going to the moon bags? And not just memes. I'm talking all chains, whether it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, your layer ones. What are your ride or die bags?
Oh man, I hold so many coins. And I'm not even talking about the hundreds of meme coins I hold because my bag is packed and diverse. But I will say Bitcoin, obviously. I'm not a Bitcoin maxi, but it is everybody should hold Bitcoin. You need it.
I agree.
Obviously Solana. I am, if I was to say I was a maxi, I'm a Solana maxi, but not maxi, but my conviction in Solana. I bought Solana at $8.30. I was buying it all the way
Oh
down there.
wow,
I love Solana. Yeah,
wow.
Like when everybody was saying we're going to zero, I was like, please go lower. I will buy more. Right. So Solana and then Jupiter. I'm a big Jupiter fan. That's Solana's biggest aggregator with Meow.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of Meow. He even teaches this thing called PPP for coins, and he pushes this, we should all win type of situation. He's someone, if eventually when the XRPL gets bigger and meme coins are actually holding, I would love to get him. I'll be able to get him on a Twitter space so you guys can hear what he has to say in his message. So yeah, Jupiter, obviously XRP, and then after that, it's probably gonna be Ethereum. Yep, I'd say those are my biggest bags. But I also hold a substantially large amount of meme coins.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Yep. No,
Awesome, man.
there's a lot of big blue chips I hold.
Nice. Yeah, it's always good to have a little bit of a diverse portfolio, especially with crypto, because you can always rotate. I mean, that's the really cool option with crypto is you can rotate into whatever's pumping, into what it hasn't pumped yet. But yeah, man, it was a pleasure having you on. Before we head off, go ahead and give me your socials for Goat and for yourself, so everybody can follow you guys.
Where do you want me to send them?
You can go ahead and send it over to my Telegram or Twitter. But I believe your social, just so I can say it here on air, for Goat is 1 second here. Goat _ coin XRP on Twitter. And that's it. Thank you so much for coming on, Douglas.
Awesome. Thanks, Jamie, for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you.